Hello, my name is Alex, and I'm back with Hi Day Psych. Maybe my story will sound familiar to you. Maybe you've been through things that are really hard to talk about. You keep them inside you, smile, you act like you're fine, but deep down, you feel exhausted and alone. I know that feeling because I used to live that way. And that's why Hi Day Psych is here to listen, to understand, and to remind you that you don't have to carry everything alone. So before we begin, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Think of this place as a safe corner where you can share your thoughts, feel heard, and maybe even find yourself. For a long time, I thought I was strong because I did everything by myself. At work, when I was given a huge project, instead of asking my team for support, I piled everything on my own shoulders. I told myself I have to prove I'm capable. I have to handle it all. The result, I stayed up late nights, burned out, and lost all energy for my own life. In love, I did the same thing. When my partner asked, "Do you need me to help with anything?" I just smiled and said I'm fine. But I wasn't fine. The truth was I was terrified. I thought if I showed my weakness, she would look down on me or leave me. That's when I realized my so-called independence wasn't strength. It was isolation. It was hyper-independence. Psychologists call hyperindependence a trauma response, and I saw so many signs of it in my own life. I was reluctant to ask for help. Deadlines would close in, and I'd rather work through the night than admit I needed support. I was afraid my coworkers would think I wasn't competent. But in reality, I was only digging myself into exhaustion. Another sign was refusing help when it was offered. My girlfriend once noticed how tired I was and wanted to cook me dinner. Instead of saying thank you, I said, "No, I can handle it." I thought if I accepted care, it meant I was weak dependent. But after rejecting her kindness again and again, I noticed the warmth between us fading, the distance growing. There was also my difficulty showing vulnerability. I remember one day when my boss criticized me harshly. Inside, I was crushed. But I didn't tell anyone, not my friends, not my partner. I went out for lunch pretending nothing happened. That night, I sat alone in my room feeling small and broken. I wore the mask of strength, but underneath I was falling apart. I also neglected my emotional needs. At work, I only cared about achievements. In love, I only focused on being the strong one, the dependable one. I never admitted I also needed comfort and reassurance. I kept telling myself, I'm fine. I just need to push harder. Until one day I realized I was completely drained with nothing left to give. Then there was my fear of intimacy. I once loved someone deeply, but every time she tried to get closer, I unconsciously pushed her away. I thought if she saw the vulnerable parts of me, she'd leave. In the end, it wasn't her who ruined the relationship, it was me hiding behind my walls. And finally, there was my need for control. In group projects, I hated delegating because I didn't trust others to get it right. In relationships, I wanted to decide everything, thinking it kept me safe. But in truth, the more I controlled, the more I drained myself, and the more disconnected I felt. Does any of this sound familiar to you? If it does, maybe like me, you've been living in that shell of hyper-independence, trying to protect yourself from being hurt again. But here's what changed everything for me. I didn't give up independence. I learned balance. And it started with tiny steps. At work, I asked a coworker to handle just one small part of a report. I was nervous. But to my surprise, not only did the project go smoother, I also learned something from the way they approached it. In love, I let my partner cook for me, and I told her about a rough day at the office. To my shock, she didn't see me as weak. She held me closer. The relationship grew stronger. I also started journaling my emotions. Every night, I'd write one sentence. Today I felt tired, or today I felt lonely. Simple but powerful. It helped me be honest with myself instead of burying my feelings. I practiced sharing small things with friends, like asking, "Can you walk with me tonight? I just feel a little low." And I learned to let go of control, to allow people to do things their way. Reminding myself I don't have to carry everything. What about you? Which of these small steps feels possible for you today? What I've learned is this: vulnerability is not weakness, it's strength. Because only when we open up can we truly heal and connect. At work, I learned to share the load instead of burning out alone. In love, I learned to receive care so that warmth doesn't fade away. If you see yourself in my story, please remember, you don't have to walk this path alone. You deserve love, support, and the freedom to be fully yourself. So let me ask you, in your work, are you carrying too much just because you don't trust anyone else? And in your relationships, are you pushing away care and intimacy just because you're afraid of being hurt? Share your thoughts in the comments. Who knows, your story might help someone else recognize themselves. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Hi Day Psych, and hit the bell so we can keep walking together on this healing journey. I'm Alex. I'll see you in the next video.